Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast. All the stuff we did not get to during the course of the show today. My tummy is rumbling.
In a hungry way or
yes,
in a gassy way?
I've only had water. Thank you for the clarification. I've only had water today and those 4 pieces of taffy, and those did not cut it. They didn't even make it like 10 minutes. But that was all I had today.
You have options.
I know, I do, and I'm trying not to. I watched a show last night on eating better.
Oh my God.
What did it say?
This is
what did it say?
Dumb. No, this is so dumb because it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. It just affected you for like, it's going to affect you for like maybe the rest of
right.
Maybe the rest of the day.
I know.
And then you're going to be like, I'll just do my fry it.
Right.
They are never going to mention a fry it.
I know. I looked and they don't. But what they did say, it was this documentary I started watching called The Magic Pill, and they're looking at how we've been fed a bill of goods or whatever they say, like on what really your body needs, and all this processed food and all this stuff that
which is what
I love. I know it's what I love. But they were like, okay, so really this is why we have all these ailments today, and they're doing an experiment where they're having people change the way they eat to see if it helps like some of these big things. Like there's this one autistic kid, and it's crazy how changing his diet is changing everything inside of this kid. It's amazing. And I was like, wow, maybe I could get in on this. No. But like when they started explaining it, they're like, it made so much sense. They're like, how do animals regulate their weight? You see fat animals because we domesticate them and we make them fat. Like Betty loves a fat cat.
I do.
But you see horses and things like that out in the wild, and they eat, whatever they're eating themselves, and they're in good shape. And so the whole premise was that we should be eating protein, and they actually you should increase your fat intake and decrease your carbohydrates and stuff like that. So protein and veggies. I'm out on the veggies. I can't do that.
You can do the protein part.
I could do the protein part like a champ. I watched one thing, though, that had me like...
Is this why you're going to Longhorn?
Yes, I'm going for protein. Now, I'm going to have a tough time saying no to the bread, but I might have to. I don't know.
Why do you do this to yourself?
I don't know, because I'm fat.
But you know it's only going to last a little bit.
I know. You're right. Why should I even try? You're absolutely right.
That's not the right mindset either.
You are the worst health coach ever.
No, because I don't want you to get, what is it, hangry?
Hangry, yeah. Yeah.
And also we have to use a little bit of honesty with ourselves.
Sure.
Because I have yet to ever, in the 15 years I've known you, the only vegetable I've seen you eat is maybe like a iceberg
I can do
salad,
iceberg lettuce. I'll have that
with
tonight.
A lot of dressing.
Yeah.
I'll have a little
Which
dressing.
kills the point.
And corn and potatoes, mashed potatoes don't count.
Maybe
I'm gonna have potatoes tonight. That's a starch.
That is all I've seen you
so
eat.
nothing you watched in. Well, I guess you're gonna focus on the protein, which is good.
On
and
protein.
Let's not forget that like potatoes do have protein in them. Vegetables you rarely do. Some of them have a little bit.
So I should have a salad, and then I should just
iceberg
eat half my iceberg lettuce,
which is pretty much water.
Half of my potato. I won't eat the whole thing. I'll just have half of it. So this is the combination of the I didn't diet. Like last night,
that's the only thing that works for you.
Last night, I know, is my wife made cupcakes, and I broke the cupcake off all the bottom part except for the top little part and the frosting, and that's all I ate. I just ate the top part. So I didn't eat the whole thing.
With the more of the sugar in the part. Also, too, I'm not helping at all. I didn't know you were doing all this or that you were watching that documentary.
Yes.
Because I brought in a gift for Marty for her birthday, and I had gone to a chocolate fudge store and bought her a few things.
You bought her stuff, though.
Yeah,
not
but
him.
she bought me something, too.
I put it in there and I said, hey, this is for you to decide on what you want to do. There's also in there, because I know that you and Marty both like the salt caramels.
Sea salt caramel,
Yeah.
Oof.
Sea salt caramel chocolate, and they're covered in chocolate cookies.
How do you say no to that?
I know.
And then
a cookie.
a dark chocolate Reese cup, but they're not like the normal size.
That's
it's like
the
a
cup
bigger
you're talking
size.
It is ginormous. Yeah, like I actually was putting it back in the bag and dropped it, and it was like, "Klong." I'm like, oh, it sounds so good. Like that sound. I know. And so like it's been everything I could do today to not go in there and eat that whole thing today. And so you're right though, Rock. You are, as much as I hate to admit it, you're 1,000,000,000% right. It's like, why do I do this to myself if you're not going to make the change long term for like one day? Because it has no effect on you.
Right.
You know, and so I should have already eaten that, you know, and been
and
like,
also,
I'm
you're
fine.
54, soon to be 55.
Not going to be alive much longer. You're right.
I'm just like,
thanks.
you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure where you're going with that.
And nothing works if you eat, like, if you just try to like slice in half the like super sugary things that you're eating. Like it's not like it's
like
you
when you say I ate the top part of a cupcake. And
proudly
it's part
say
of
that.
Also,
Doesn't
this is
work.
coming from a man who learned at 54 that pasta actually wasn't a healthy option.
It
Do you
seemed
remember
like
that?
it would be. Yeah, it seemed like it would be healthy.
You thought, oh, well, I picked the pasta, so I did pretty good. What?
Yeah.
I think that in your favor, as a guy
plant.
who has like done the whole like weight loss thing over the last few years, and we share the same height, same like relatively build. I'm a little taller, so for you though,
I think he is.
the weight you are that you've told me that I won't say out loud, you really aren't that like heavy for your height, in my opinion.
I
and
feel
you don't.
it, though.
I never look at you. I don't think anybody looks at you and goes like, "Oh, fatty." Like I think
thank you.
if you
They walk down the hall.
but if you look at me, I'm still probably close to like 35 pounds heavier than you are right now in the same way. And
I'm
I
like
think
176.
I'm
is where
around
at.
210 right now. So
Okay.
that's like I'm 35 pounds heavier than you.
Right.
I think I look stocky.
Right.
And I see myself like I'm editing a video that we have come out sometime in the soon, and there's this one sideways angle, and I look at myself in that little angle.
Don't ever do that.
There's a big old belly.
The sideways angle's the worst.
It's the worst, but I know
know.
that I look like that.
I hate that.
I don't think
hate
you look that big from the
Well,
side.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You are beautiful.
Thank you.
No matter what they
I have
say.
had
Why am I
people-
affirming you so much?
I know, and I appreciate that.
Words can't bring me
I have had people
down.
like come up and go, "Man, you talk about yourself being really fat on the radio," and then they'll
So
meet
don't
me
you
and be
bring
like,
me down.
"Oh wow, you're not like as big as I thought
not.
you were," and so I appreciate that.
They
but-
pictured a 220 pound.
Yeah, 5'4", you know,
Chunky.
yeah. And so like but I feel it though, like my gut, like because we shoot so many videos now.
Sure.
Like you constantly see yourself. And I mean like every time we do video shoots and photo shoots, what's Betty's job?
Tell you to suck it in.
Suck it in, you
Now,
know.
the other side of that, though, is that the stuff that you generally wear for those types of things are not relatively encouraged, or they're not like
They're not
positive
helping.
or they don't encourage positive thinking about yourself, per se. Like skinny jeans. I know they make you like, you have skinny legs.
Yeah, so my
But
legs
that
are great.
mixed
That's
with
the
like,
only-
The only thing I got going for me, I got some calves, man. Like the Lord did that,
you say
right?
you have calves.
I do. I have calves.
Why do you go? You get really creepy when you talk about your
I got
calves.
calves. That's the only thing I got going for me.
But if you have to say it, does
I
it
know.
count?
Because no one else will, except Gavin, because he's been very affirming.
I haven't said anything. I will not.
Yay for
I will
you.
not mention your calves.
Oh, yeah.
Calves.
So anyway, I'm going Longhorn tonight. I'll be back to normal tomorrow. Everything will be fine. We'll be having Dunkin' tomorrow morning.
Great. No, we trashed them last week. We can't do that.
No, they got to get it right. They owe me big time. Betty, have you heard, you spent a lot of time on TikTok. Have you heard the term almond mom? It's kind of dovetails with all of this.
ALMOND.
Almond, like the...
No.
Like, if you haven't heard that? Okay. It was actually born out of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and now it's a pop culture reference, and it refers to a parent who imparts unhealthy food beliefs or disordered eating on their child. You know, like you say things to your kid that then manifests itself in them having an eating disorder, basically.
Where does almond come from?
Because on Beverly Hills, like the mom was like, the daughter was talking about being hungry, and the mom was like, well, why don't you just have 2 almonds and eat them really slowly, basically to maintain her weight.
You know, there's a lot of, I read a couple of books about different people. There was one that was on a Nickelodeon show. I read her book, and hers was all about her mom teaching her about unhealthy diet, ways to keep her skinny. And it really messed her up. She was down to like the 90 pounds or something when she was 17 or 18. And then I read a book about Karen Carpenter, and she actually died from anorexia. So it's a bad thing.
Well, like there's a few people on TikTok that are doing these videos, like almond mom videos. Like there's one video where the mom comes back and she says, "I just got back from a 12-mile walk. I'm starving," and she like gets 2 almonds to eat. So they're doing it satirical.
I see.
Like so, it's done like that to be. They're using humor to show like red flags and stuff like that. It's kind of raising red flags, like this isn't normal behavior. One lady who created a bunch of these almond mom videos, she says my mom watches them and thinks they're hilarious, but she also watches them and is like dialing it back a little bit, you know, like, oh, okay. Because I definitely know that you can inadvertently say things that affect your kids. Like I remember hearing, you know, are you eating because you're hungry or you're bored? You know, and it's an honest question too, like from a parent, but the subtext is, well, you're probably a little overweight, and so you're just eating to eat, and you shouldn't be doing that because you're going to get fat, which is going to lead to this and lead to this. And so it's a tricky thing for parents to navigate, especially with young girls. It affects both, but boy, girls internalize stuff so quickly.
Were you careful with Haley?
I was careful with Haley, but then even inadvertently, I would say things that I meant nothing in the realm of how she internalized it and took it. And then as we would talk about, I'm like, how did you get from A to B here? Because that's not at all what I said or what I meant. But you're trying to manage somebody's mind that you don't know, and it can be challenging and stuff like that. But
I will say that I think that as hard as it is and how hard it can be to like track your own diet, I definitely feel like it's got to be that much harder to track like your kids' diet.
Oh, for sure.
Because you're handling like yourself and then them. Kids obviously can't eat as much because they have these like tiny bodies. And then you have kids who are like picky. And so if you're trying to like plan a meal for them and all of a sudden they can't and won't eat the thing that you want them to eat, and they're just eating Cheerios all day, and then they're just eating Cheerios. Like I can't imagine how hard it must be to track a kid and make sure they're healthy as well.
When they're little, you control their food intake. Kind of like having a cat. You know, you control. Like the only reason anyone has a fat cat is it's because of them.
Yeah.
You know, because you put out extra fuel. Like you can control that. And when kids are young, you as a parent, it's your job to control that as well. When they get older, it gets harder because they're out, you know, with their friends. They go to lunch, you know, afterwards, you know, or you know, go to McDonald's and don't make the right choices and stuff. And you can't control it. But even in trying to control it for your kids, you have the best intentions, because you know what a life of obesity brings from a social standpoint, from a health standpoint, you know. And so I think people's parents' hearts are in the right place. I want to help my child, but it doesn't always come off that way. I didn't know this, but eating disorders remain second only to opioid overdose, and it was second to opiate overdoses during the coronavirus. As far as like a cause of death for people, like every 52 minutes, they say there's an eating disorder responsible death. Like what in the world? Like I had no idea. I had no idea it was that prevalent.
It's like I can't think of anybody in my life that struggles with that. But I'm sure
I've known people.
It's a very different thing it's like another thing that's probably part mental and part physical as well that you have to maneuver.
I've known people that you wouldn't have even known it either. You're like, what in the world? Here's the thing too, like when you talk about your kids in this generation are so aware of mental health issues, but it doesn't mean they're mentally healthy. Like they're aware of it. Oh yeah. And they'll talk to you all day about it, but they're still broken. And that's why navigating this is super challenging for parents, even when you have the best heart. But that stat like really shocked me.
Yeah.
Lady Rock, what do you got?
Well, AMC is maybe going to be on everyone's hit list pretty soon.
Now, why? I have AMC A-list.
They're trying a new pricing system. It's called Sightline. So pretty much, you know how they sell tickets for concerts or events or on a plane. If you want the good seat, you have to pay more.
Oh, no.
Well, that's going to be the case for when you go and see a movie. There are going to be certain seats that are going to cost you more if you want them. So say you want to sit in the back or you want to sit in the middle. Yeah. That's going to cost you more. But if you're willing to sit closer to the rows or closer to the front, it's going to cost you less.
Like this is the thing with I already not a giant fan of the reserved seating. Like the AMC where I go down by me doesn't have it. But then my wife always wants to get there early so she can get the seat where her legs can go up on the bar in front of it.
Oh, yeah.
Because it helps her hip. So we never sit in the middle. We always sit on the side. So hopefully that'll be cheaper. But like that could be a premium seat. Mm-hmm. Oh, you got a place to put your foot. That's a premium seat.
Yep.
Oh, you want a seat where your feet don't stick to the floor. That's a premium seat.
Which the one thing that I did think about is if, let's say you go and see a movie in the middle of the day when most people are at work, you pay for the cheap seat, but who's going to stop you from moving to an expensive seat if there's no one sitting there?
Right. Yeah, you have the luxury of being able to do that. I guess not everybody does,
No,
because of your
that's
job.
true.
It would be one thing if, like, let's say all tickets were $10 and they said, okay, all your seats in here are $10. Now, the bad seats, we're going to make them $8.50. Like, okay, great. I'm all for it. But that's not what they're going to do. All seats are $10. Bad seats are $10. Now, these good seats are going to be $15, so they're going to raise all their prices. Again, it's another way. You're already gouging the crud out of us for the popcorn and soda.
I know.
Ridiculous.
It's getting ridiculous to where you can't afford to just go out anymore.
No.
Like everything is expensive. And if your like whatever you make at your job can't keep up with the
inflation and stuff,
then you're going to be
You should
messed
use
up.
that as a barometer if you're dating somebody and they say, hey, I want to take you out to a movie. And yes, you can buy the popcorn and the soda. It's going to be a great night. And after that, we're going to go and get omelets. And we're going to buy like 5-egg omelets. You're like, all right, this guy's got money. Because eggs are so expensive. Yeah, and he's going to take you to a movie and spring for popcorn. Like, this is all right.
Or he's just spending his whole paycheck on that one day.
He's broke. Yeah, like after this, like, we can't go anywhere.
Yeah. So this pricing system, it's not going to start right now, but they are planning on starting it in some cities like New York, Chicago, and Kansas City this weekend.
Oh, this already?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I mean,
but we won't see it in all their locations
Sure.
until the end of the year.
Well, they'll want to get ahead of it because there's like another Marvel movie coming out in 10 days. So they'll want to take advantage of the thralls of people that'll go to that. And then the summer blockbusters.
Even planes drive me nuts too now. Like where you go to get on a plane, you had first class, sometimes business class, and then last class. And everybody was in the same last class row and just deal with it. And now, like all the extra seats, you go to book your seats and like, oh, no, economy comfort, and you got to pay extra for that seat. And there's really no difference in that seat. It's not like wildly more comfortable or wild new legroom. But like say you wanted to sit near the front of the plane because you had a connection or something, you got to pay more money for it. It's just every time you turn around, people are just using everything they can to gouge you.
Oh, tell
to
me about it.
nickel and dime you to death.
I know.
To make money. And I'm surprised that you don't have to have an account for all these things.
I bet your AMC, whatever, movie pass or whatever, they're going to be like, we need you to create an account.
Every time you want to get a seat.
Yes. And we're going to send you notifications through text and your email telling you about new things that are going on with AMC.
I just unsubscribed to about 14 things the other day. Like I need them in at one time. And then I kept getting them in my email every day and I just kept deleting them. I'm like, why am I deleting these? Let's unsubscribe to some things. And so I took time to go through and unsubscribe.
Good for you.
But it was nice to not get those in my email
Way to
today.
do the work.
I did. I did the work on myself and in general. So, Lady Rock, do you have any birthdays for
I
us?
do. Neil, Amy, Abigail, and Noah, they all want to wish Caleb a happy 16th birthday.
Caleb must be amazing.
16.
Happy birthday. Said he's turning 16 and is an amazing young man. He's truly a blessing from God, and we're so proud of him.
Nice.
Aw. The question is...
Oh, wait, real quick. I have a birthday.
Oh, you do?
Oh, you
My wife.
Oh, your wife.
Yeah.
That's
not the first
right.
one.
Yeah, 55 today.
Oh, don't
she
say
is.
that.
No, she is. She's 55.
I wished her a happy 40th.
Oh, thank you. That's nice of you.
I still wish my mom a happy 25th
Nice.
on hers.
We have so she's 55, so she's 7 months older than me. But the good news is we can move into a 55 plus community now because she gets me in, which is great.
Can she get you into 55 plus pickleball?
I
groups?
they made.
They are a thing.
Yeah, and so she can get discounts now through AARP.
She can also do the Silver Sneakers program.
that? Oh,
my
my
dad
goodness.
does that.
What is that?
They pay for your gym membership.
They do.
What?
When you're 55 or over.
Who does? AARP or
I have no idea. The government? I'm not sure, but
The
my dad
government.
is part of the Silver Sneakers.
Does he ever
program.
go?
Yeah, he actually does, which I'm
Danny
kind of
Ray
surprised
goes
by.
to the gym?
Yeah, my
No,
grandpa
I'm
has
not
that.
saying like he's jacked, but he goes. And that's really good.
Is there a Domino's next to it?
No, it's a Crystals.
I love that. There, like, okay, in where we live, there is a like 24-hour fitness place, Anytime Fitness, and right next to it is Little Caesars. At the other place over by us, there's a gym. There's a Domino's next to it. At the other place near us,
terrible.
there is a gym, and there is a Viking, like locally owned pizza place next to it. It's like these. I've always wanted to go buy a pizza and bring lawn chairs and just sit, because they're always glass walls
Yep.
of people on the treadmills, and just sit and eat pizza while they work out. I just think it'd be a funny video until like the guy that
Hilarious.
wants to get jacked and beat you up. But
Yeah,
still,
then it won't be funny.
it would be funny for a minute.
The question is, if you had the attention of the world for 10 seconds and 10 seconds only, what would you say?
That's a great
Once you
question.
have it, you're prepared, I will count you down.
You're
Oh,
like,
no.
And then there's a second and a half. No, wait, stop. There's 4. I needed to think for a second. 7. Dadgummit. 10. I would squander that 10 seconds, I'm sure,
I
accidentally.
think, what would I
Yeah.
tell
Is
the
there a good
world
joke?
about?
Is there like
No,
if
I
are we
wouldn't
as
know.
should we
Do you want to be
as-
serious and like tell people to love each other and stop?
No, because
Or
no
like-
one's going to listen.
tell them
Yeah.
that Jesus loves them?
Oh, that'd
Like
be
should we
good,
be
Gavin.
Christians and
That's true.
use that
But
time?
will they listen?
Yeah.
I think I know what I would talk about.
I'd use mine to complain about something.
Of course you would. Okay, somebody count me down.
Okay.
Ready?
10,
Wait,
9,
give me a
8.
heads up.
On
Heads
your
up,
mark.
10.
Get set. Go.
Listen, cat people aren't
8,
terrible people. I don't know why we get this bad vibe
4,
put on us, but dog people aren't the best,
1.
okay? Cats have
Amen. Done.
cats
Done.
deserve
Done.
love
Done.
too.
The broadcast cut out as you were
Yeah.
screaming like a mad cat lady at the end.
Okay, here, count me down.
All right,
man.
and go.
The message you heard from the lady just a second ago, while it being a crazy cat lady message, she's
5, 4,
really
3,
not
2, 1,
dangerous,
and
and she's
done.
actually kind of sweet. And did I mention single? So I would use my 10 seconds for you, Rock.
Gavin, what would you say?
Oh man, I'm not prepared.
Ready and go.
10.
It's
9,
okay if you're short.
8,
Don't let your
7,
coworkers or other
6,
friends say they're taller
5,
than you when they're
4,
not.
3,
Short
and the whole
men
time
get married
the
as well.
The camera angle
don't
is
buy
just the top of his
heighted
head.
sneakers. That would be the case, wouldn't it? They'd be like,
That's
"Oh, look
funny.
at that slightly receding hairline."
Oh, bless.
Well, there you go. That is going to do it for the shenanigans on the Aftercast today. And as always, thanks for being a potty.